Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear on this Friday morning. Got a lot of stuff to show today, so we got to get started. I don't know if I'm gonna get finished with all the stuff I have to show you, but let's get started with weather brought to us by Haney Technical, and we're looking at a high of 87, a low of 76. Not be quite as much as rain we've been having. Hopefully it's going to dry out just a little bit, but those storms can still pop up. Water temperature is 86 degrees. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood and Restaurant up on Highway 77 just past Bozeman, Apalachicola, dropping out a little bit. This morning's reading of 5.9. They got a slow drop to it, and the Choctawhatchee at Carabelle dropping out a little bit faster. It's reading of 7.6, but dropping out pretty good. So both rivers have a slight drop to it if you're going on the river tomorrow. So be aware of that. Not a lot of movement though. So like I said yesterday, it should be a good weekend on the river. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Looking getting a neap tides, almost neap tides. Monday's going to be real bad for tides, but today we're looking at a high tide at 10:32 this morning, low at 9:55. Marine forecast southeast at about 5 to 10, 40% chance of rain. And let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe, 5:36 to 7:36 this morning. And this evening, exactly from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, good way to spend a late Friday afternoon to get out on the water and do some fun things right there. Let's go ahead and do our Sandhills seafood giveaway, but I want to add, I got some names to add. I had some folks send names in. Matthew Finch from Wausau, Cynthia Clark from Chipley, David Spence from Wausau, Janice Spence from Panama City, and David Spence from Panama City. So y'all are all in there now. So this is from Sandhills Seafood. Okay, we're gonna give away two, either half. I think the oyster's about gone for the summer. It would be wet, so it's probably just a seafood platter. But just talk to Wayne when you get up there. And the winner is going to be Jean Bigger from Deer Point Lake is one of the winners. That's her second time winning. And the other winner is going to be Etzel Swearingen from Panama City. That's our two winners. And let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get on some pictures. First of all, remember we're talking all week about tarpon and lightning and all, but tarpon, folks, fishing is really good. That's why I started talking about it. And look at this very first picture. Here's a good fisherman, guy, Martin Ward, and look at here. He caught it off the pier. Let's read it right here. Had a pretty good afternoon at the county pier today for a total of 2 tarpon caught back to the pier. They brought it back to the pier, and 7 others get away. I've been doing good this season. I caught 4 out of 15 hookups. Last season he was 2 for 59, but that's off the pier right there. Good job, and that's the key to it. We talk about tarpon. Most of them gonna get off, but just watching them jumping all is fun. So all you gotta do is go out to the pier and fish for tarpon. They're out here. And here's some different. People want to know what kind of plugs to use. This is just a collage of plugs all the way from a donk, but most of these have some kind of silver flash to them. So keep that in mind too. All right, here's one of our viewers wants to sell a boat. A perfect boat for fishing the flats. A 19.2 foot flat boat with a 50 horse Mariner 4-stroke. Engine recently rebuilt. Runs great. I have the receipt and it shows the work done. And I'm selling because of back problems, which does not allow me to fish comfortably. Call Hank. Here's the number. 850-381-1613. I got a couple more pictures of it. That's a good looking boat there, and it's ideal for flats fishing and for floundering. A nice boat, 19-foot boat there. All right, so let me give you our number again because I know y'all like me, you don't get it the first time. 850-381-1613. Okay, now I do want to mention you guys that want to take your wife to do something different and all, instead of going and taking them out to eat all the time, do something like I did this week. Gal and I went pawn shopping. We went all to pawn shops. We went to 9 pawn shops. I think it was Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Spent a day at pawn shops. And of course, the reason I'm looking for my fishing rod, and we just had the best time. There were 8 out of 9 folks were just super nice. One guy was a little standoffish, but I just went in. I was asking them if they'd seen this rod. Y'all remember my rod? And I still want to try to find it. Here it is right here. I took these pictures in the pawn shop. And they were very, very receptive, and they know that's a unique color combination, and they're going to be on the lookout for it. So anyway, but that was interesting. About a little bit over half a day going to pawn shops. We went to 9, and we still got 2 more at the beach to go to. So if you see my rod, let me know. You keep the reel and the tackle, but I like to have a rod back. Now I want to let me talk about this real quick. I was talking about lightning. I want to finish up on lightning. You know, we had that fatality this week for a camper and all. And we were talking, and I were talking about, lightning fatalities. They sort of hit home sometimes. I remember when my 5th grade teacher, Miss Greenwald, her daughter, Sandra Greenwald, was struck and killed by lightning when I was in the 5th grade. That just made an impression on me. She was walking on Mexico Beach a long time ago, a teenage girl, and just beautiful. But so. And then we started thinking of the last fatality I can remember here locally was in St. Joe Bay, and it was unique because the folks were out scalloping. And we started talking about it, trying to put it together. When I knew it was in the 90s, and anyway, make a long story short, we started researching and going back and everything, and we called a girl in Tallahassee around our age because her parents were good friends of her parents. We talked to her, and she thought it was 1994. We found out it was 1991. And the GBI, that's Gale's Bureau of Investigation, she kept digging and went to the Star in August the 1st of 1991 and found the article on the lightning strike where this older couple they were out scalloping. And it really, when I share something like this with you, instead of just throwing out facts, 25 people killed here and there, to me, when you humanize a story and talk about happening to real people like us, it makes it more effective. And I do this to help us all be more careful in the outdoors. I'm going to read you this story out of the paper because it is a fascinating story, a sad story, but it was lightning in St. Joe Bay with people out scalloping, just like we're going to be doing in another week or two. Okay, Edward Benjamin Mobley, 67, of Lake Wales, had just retired a few days prior to last Saturday and purchased a new boat 2 days before. He was intent on getting right down to the business of enjoying a long retirement, traveling and camping. His retirement playing and traveling came to an abrupt end Saturday at about 12:30 p.m. after a bolt of lightning ripped out of the clouds of a heavy thunderstorm on St. Joe Bay and struck Mobley, killing him instantly. The fatal lightning bolt was accompanied by many other jolts and rolling thunder in a driving rainstorm which rolled in at about noon. Mobley's wife, Daisy, was knocked unconscious by the same bolt. The two were scalloping in the bay and were about 1,500 feet from the shore of St. Joseph Peninsula. They were on the way back, and it had started raining. He had stopped, and this is not in the paper, I know this happened. He stopped the boat and got a rain jacket to put on his wife and went back to start the motor, and that's when that lightning hit, okay? It doesn't say that here. Mrs. Mobley remained unconscious for about 45 minutes, according to Gulf County Sheriff's. Goes on to say, as she began to regain consciousness, Robert Myers of Burgess Creek came by in a boat and saw Mrs. Mobley feebly waving, trying to wave him down. Myers came alongside, and after seeing Mrs. Mobley was in trouble and could not talk, he towed the boat to dock on about 750 feet away. Mr. Mobley had fallen into the water when the lightning hit him, and the fatal strike, and a search was started for his body. The search was joined by the Florida Marine Patrol, and goes on to talk about, and another guy was down there and helped him in the search at the campsite. About 2 hours after the strike, Mobley's bodies were spotted floating in the bay about 1,500 feet from the dock where the boat was tied. Mrs. Mobley was hospitalized in Gulf Pines Hospital until Monday, and she was released. Mobley's body was transferred to a medical examiner and determined the lightning entered it, at his head and exited at his feet, so it went through his entire body. And that's the article here out of the Star. And Gail went ahead and found we looked up Mrs. Mobley because we understood she was hurt pretty bad, but we found her obituary in the Lake Wales paper, and she lived another 23 years after that. She just passed away in 2013, but in her obituary talked about how she still enjoyed going out in the boat fishing and all. So that was, I humanized the story on lightning and all, and that was in St. Joe Bay in August. And I want to leave this with you about how quickly those thunderstorms come up out of nowhere, and you're not safe on the water. And he was headed back in, and the man had just retired and just had a new boat, and what a sad story that is. So I just wanted to, we spent about 2 hours getting all that information for what is 3-minute presentation, but it's all worth it to me if it'll help y'all out and keep y'all safe. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You know how much I appreciate and enjoy the feedback from you, our viewers, and it's on a regular basis. And here's one here I got sent yesterday. This is really good. This is sent to us by Mike Van Huss. Okay, hey Coach, this happened a couple of days after your snake episode. This was in our backyard in Mariana. Love the show, Mike Van Huss. So we're going to show this. This is fascinating. It's very short. This is a turkey and a snake. Okay, well, check this out. It's not very long. Look at it. That turkey has that snake, and look at him. Now you don't want to look. Look at it. That's just fascinating to me. And he's not scared of it, is he? And I don't know the snake itself. Okay, that's it right there. But that's all you got to do. Pick up your phone, and take some of that video and send it to me. And real life video like this, locally in the Panhandle, it beats anything you see on YouTube or these national shows where people stage stuff and all and spend all kinds of that's real stuff there. So thank you, Mike, for sending that. And snakes are out, and birds are fascinating with them. Okay, I do have a couple more pictures I want to show you. We got to a chance to get out and like I say, visit pawn shops, but also I want to show you this picture here. This is our friend Tess Randall Jolly, who takes a lot of pictures, but her dog's named Bear, okay, Bear and the snake lesson. It was an encounter with no contact, trying to teach him not to catch snakes like he does pretty much any type of rodent. He did well, he baited and kept his distance. Harmless, helpful rat snake, every bit of 5 feet. So that's a great picture right there by Tess. And the dogs, they have this natural instinct to sort of stay away from that, and they're good about it. I got one more. Please pray for my wife, okay? A bee stung her on the forehead, and she's in the ER right now. They told her she almost died. Luckily, I was close enough to her and was able to hit the bee as hard as I could with a shovel, just as it stung her. When I read stuff like this, sometimes I just bust out laughing. I know it's early in the morning, and sense of humor may not be caught up with you yet, but that's funny to me. I just heard, I want to share this with you real quick. I heard this from a friend of mine that watches the show, and there's a movement going on right now, and I hadn't heard about it. I'm going to share this with you because we're going to get some folks on the show to talk about it. Basically what they're talking about, I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. The Highland View Canal, which connects St. Joe Bay to the Intercoastal Waterway, we talk about it a lot. You've seen the pictures of it, and that's where that tragic accident was last week. But they've been talking about this for a little while now. Some of the locals have talking about, there's so much water coming out of the canal into the clear, pristine St. Joe Bay. They're talking about putting a lock on it, on the canal, putting a lock on it. It'll still be passable, but have like a lock though, and locks are very normal in a lot of places. And that way the water will be diverted. Instead of going into the bay, it will keep on going down the canal, the Intercoastal, in the Lake Wimico, into St. Joe Bay. And they're estimated about 20% of that water goes into the Highland View Canal, so that would give more water to Apalachicola Bay, which they need, and they've always needed more water. So that's interesting. I don't know how far along they've got. People are just talking about it, but that's an interesting concept, and we're going to take a look at it and do more thorough show on it soon. Okay, but I just wanted to throw that out at you. If you have any feedback on it, give me a call, because the more I thought about it, I've talked to a few other people who know a lot about this kind of stuff, and they were scratching their heads and said, yeah, because it was built in 1930s by Ed Ball, who the St. Joe Empire was run by Ed Ball. He built it for the paper mill for transportation in that area, and the paper mill's not there anymore. So really, as far as serving the purpose of transportation, is not relevant. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Of course, there'll always be yays and nays, but we'll check that out. Okay, I do want to make one more quick announcement if I can get up to it. I've decided, after much thought and deliberation, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to sell my Jeep, okay? There it is right there. I'm going to sell it. I love a Jeep, and bottom line, I just do not drive it as much as I thought I would. It's a beautiful Jeep here, and I'm going to give y'all the first choice. My viewers on Panhandle Outdoors, y'all get the first choice on it. I haven't advertised anything, but I'm going to just show it to you. Now, I admit, it takes a special person, what I call a Jeep person, to appreciate it and to want a Jeep. And I've had 3 or 4, this is my 4th Jeep, I think, in my lifetime. And anyway, so I appreciate Jeeps. Okay, here's a picture of it at the house, and I just go through it real quick. It's in decent shape. It's in real good. It's got a tear right there on the lower left hand. It's a Jeep, okay, and a motor. All right, now that's I'm gonna just show you what's in it real quick. And let's see, 304 EMC aluminum 4-barrel intake, Edelbrock headers. I mean, this is loaded. I mean, you got a DUI distributor, automatic transmission, which I always had. You going down the external cooler, swing away, all that kind of stuff. And the Jeep man suggested, he suggested, this guy, Jamie, probably knows more about Jeeps than anybody in the Florida Panhandle. He worked on it before, and he knows the Jeep in and out. And he said, ask 10-2 because it's got that much in it. So I would negotiate, for my Panhandle Outdoor viewers, I'll take 95. So you know my number. If you're interested, nobody wants to. And I really don't want to sell it to young people, teenagers and all, because that motor is powerful and very, very strong. So, and you got to appreciate the Jeep too. So anyway, just let me know. If not, I'll put it in the paper or something another week or two. All right, in the winter, we're going to go and do Tarpon Dock. Tarpon Dock Seafood. The winner of the first $20 gift certificate is going to be Jackie Watson from Defuniak Springs. Jackie, that's his 2nd win. Jackie, you're a lucky man. And the winner of the Big Red Snapper. And I sent some red snapper back and win to Tennessee, and they loved it. They don't get much up there. Haley McCoy Weber. Haley McCoy Weber got the red snapper. Take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. This is our famous Friday fishing report. All kind of good things going on, but I want to finish up on a tarpon. I put a tarpon back up here, just basically on the rig and all. You know, they're fighting fish, but you can buy your leaders. They're tied. You can buy everything now pretty well tied. This is a 7-2-inch, 6-foot leader, 60-pound leader, so, and already rigged up, and that'll save you a lot of time. As far as the fish itself, remember the top of the mouth here is real rough. And it's hard to keep them hooked. It was, that would show, when I caught that was a miracle I kept it hooked. But what do you use for bait? Well, you can do 2 or 3 things. They'll eat dead bait. You can drop a half a mullet or something on the bottom right there. Most guides and all, they're going to use live bait and anything natural to the area. Alewives, they love little mullet, anything, and you free line out the back of the boat. Also, folks troll for them. The early tarpon were caught on that Fluger spoon. Remember that big old silver spoon put out by Fluger? In fact, they used to have big tournaments back in the 20s and 30s. Fluger put on tarpon tournaments. But I just showed you some lures earlier, and also keep in mind they're really hard to keep hooked, and they're going to come up, jump, and spit it out most of the time. But when you first hook one, you want to bow to the king. And let that stay slack there instead of pulling real tight, because that makes it easy for them to pull out. So keep that in mind. You can fish on bottom, you can free line. Of course, the ultimate is fly fishing for them, and you can get some tarpon flies and all. So they're not that hard to catch this time of year. A lot of them out there, but they're finicky at times. Also, I'm going to show you the spots, but first I want to show you a spot here. I had an email from one of my viewers that he wants to go, he and his wife are going scalloping tomorrow. He wants to go down to Franklin County where it's open, and he asked where to go. And my best, from what the folks tell me, out of Nark Village, right past Carabel. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and show you a spot right there. There's some grass flats out there. Okay, there's a boat landing, and about waist to chest deep, all this area right here is good scalloping. I've had a lot of folks tell me about that. Every year I say I'm going down there, and somehow I don't make it. But that's where I would go in that area. Tarpon fishing, you can tarpon fish down there. I'm going to show you the tarpon fishing spots I've been promising all week. Back behind Dog Island, when coming out of Dog Island, anchor, I've seen guides anchor right up in here, because this tarpon, they're migratory fish and all, and they're going to hang around, and they love freshwater too. They're going to go up in freshwater a lot. I'm not going to get time to. Let me go ahead and jump into the fishing report itself, because I'm stuck on this tarpon as far as showing y'all where to go. I got a lot of good tarpon spots, and I'm not going to have enough time to show them. I may pick it up next week and all. But they're catching tarpon off the pier right now. The red snapper bite has been excellent this week. Really good bites. They've had a dodge of storms and all. Bay water is still tea-colored. A lot a lot of fish are being caught with it, considering and all, but a lot of folks are catching them away from fresh water, you know, so finding some good clear spots and all, but all the bays are tea-colored, okay? Also right now, the small trout, a lot of small trout being bit. I'm seeing I watch mullet on a daily basis. I've been watching them all summer, and I go watch them out from the house, and they started jumping about, you know, a little while back, and they're about that size, and they're growing a little bit now. The mullet are growing really fast, and they do that. In another couple of weeks, it's going to be some really good cast netting for mullet. So keep that in mind. I saw one jump yesterday. I said, he's about eating size right now. So they're growing fast. Also, I've been watching the dolphins up in the bay, and they're pushing that bait fish. They're pushing up in North Bay, and they really had them surrounded this early part of this week, like on Tuesday. They spent a whole day up there Tuesday. So watch your birds, watch what your dolphin are doing, okay? Also, I wrote down the pier fishing has been really good. Seacourt Marina, I haven't had a chance to talk to them. I will talk to them first part of next week and give you a report from there. But if you're going to fish this weekend, I'm going to have a bass fisherman on next week, one of the best young bass fishermen I've met, and I've known him a long time, but he's developed into an excellent bass fisherman. Kyle Pridgeon will be on the show next week. He's the one to keep showing pictures of these 9-pound bass, and he's going to come on and show us and tell us how he catches all these 9-pound bass. He's been catching a bunch of them. So that's going to be on next week too, all kind of neat stuff going on. So I'm trying to get through all of this. I did want to talk about flounder. They gigged a little bit of flounder this week, and they went out, a couple of guys went out on a full moon, and still on low tide full moon, the worst conditions, and got some gigs from flounder. But that's gigging. Catching Crooked Island Sound would be a good place to catch some flounder right now. And also Apalachicola Bay, all that area there got a lot of fresh water in it, but it's still good fishing. Now don't let that scare you away. A lot of good stuff going on. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching our show. Got some big shows next week. You have a great weekend. I plan to go fishing in the morning early, so maybe I'll run into some of y'all out there toward the West Bay or North Bay. All right, you have a great weekend. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.